देखे क्रिकेट टीवी, जहां मिलने लगी क्रिकेट की सारी बातें, जहां जोश भी है, जहां होश भी है, जहां क्रिकेट है, आओ देखे क्रिकेट टीवी।
नमस्ते, गुड इवनिंग, सत श्री अकाल, हेलो फ्रॉम क्रिकेट टीवी। आपका स्वागत है। वुमेन्स वर्ल्ड कप के स्पेशल शोज हम कर रहे हैं और हमारे साथ हमारी दो महिला एक्सपर्ट जुड़ी हुई हैं। आप जानते हैं उनको, आर डी बर्मन का ड्रम रोल के साथ प्रिया जोशी एंड हेतवी पटेल। और आई एम ऑफ कोर्स regret to inform you today that Narayan Pasari, our resident expert, is unfortunately unwell, but as they say, the show must go on। एंड हमारी जो महिलाएं हैं जो काफी बातें करती हैं क्रिकेट के बारे में, एकदम पैनी नजर रखती है गेम के ऊपर, और उनका जो विश्लेषण है वो मुझे लगता नहीं आपको किसी और चैनल पे मिलेगा। तो शुरू करते हैं कल की मैच के बारे में। इंडिया पाकिस्तान का मैच था, एज यू ऑल नो, कोलंबो में था। ऑब्वियसली इंडिया में हो ही नहीं सकता है। और एज यूजुअल, जैसे हर हर इंडिया पाकिस्तान मैच में होता है, कुछ ना कुछ अद्भुत तो होना ही था। तो पाकिस्तान टॉस हार गई, लेकिन मैच रेफरी ने कहा पाकिस्तान टॉस जीत गई। तो फिर
Yes.
पाकिस्तान के कप्तान ने मैच टॉस हारने के बाद भी उन्होंने ये तय किया कि वो करेंगी पहले गेंदबाजी। अब
Yes.
शायद 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 अच्छा हुआ एक तरह से कि ये हमारे हमारी जो कप्तान है, उनके उनके सिर पे ये निर्णय नहीं गया कि क्या करना है, उनके ऊपर एक निर्णय थोपा गया। और उसकी वजह से हमने पहले बल्लेबाजी की, और उसके आगे क्या हुआ इसके बारे में हम सुनेंगे प्रिया और हेतवी से, और मैं भी थोड़ा कुछ बीच बीच में, एज ए से इन मुंबई में उंगली करते रहूंगा। तो so Priya, first
Yes.
from you, your thoughts about yesterday's match overall, and whatever that you would like to speak, and then we'll come down to again specific
Yes.
performances, incidents, events।
तो सर मैच काफी अच्छा था, मतलब इट वाज वेरी एक्साइटिंग। आई मीन इनिशियली ऐसा लग रहा था कि हमारी कुछ विकेट्स जो है वो जल्दी गई, लेकिन अगर हम कंपेयर करें टू पाकिस्तान, आई थिंक वी प्लेड रियली वेल। वी लॉस्ट 3 विकेट्स एट 100 रन्स, सॉरी 2 विकेट्स एट 100 रन्स इन 24 ओवर्स। और पाकिस्तान जो है दे मेड 100 रन्स एट अराउंड 30 ओवर्स, एंड they'd ऑलरेडी लॉस्ट 4 विकेट्स व्हेन दे मेड 100 रन्स। सो मैच वॉज गेटिंग टफ फॉर देम। हमारी बैटिंग अच्छी थी, मैंने आई थिंक पहले कहा भी था कि इंडिया शुड बैट फर्स्ट, और बैटिंग अच्छी थी उनकी, और बॉलिंग फील्डिंग आल्सो वाज गुड, एंड ऑफ कोर्स वी वन बाय 88 रन्स, देयर इज अ बिग मार्जिन। कुछ चेंजेस हुए थे। अमनजोत डिड नॉट प्ले इन द टीम, शी वाज अनवेल, उसके बदले में हमने रेणुका को देखा। बट आई थिंक ओवरऑल परफॉर्मेंस फिर भी अच्छा रहा, और वी प्लेड वेल, एंड आई थिंक द स्कोर is good for a women's team. If we see 247, I think it's quite a good score. And overall, I think it was good.
I think this is success justifies everything in the end,
Yes.
and it probably also papers over a lot of shortcomings in the team. But let me hear from Hetvi first what she thinks about yesterday's match. Hetvi, over to you.
I think that was like our 12th straight win against Pakistan, and it was by 88 runs. But again, it was a slow match. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't the kind of India-Pakistan that we see. And we haven't seen from Pakistan men's as well since a while now कि इतना मतलब वो competitiveness नहीं देखा है कोई भी India-Pakistan match में पिछले कई बारी से. It was a slow start, steady, middle. And the finish was good. 35 out of 20 was a great knockout performance from Richa. Yeah, Richa Ghosh. It was really brilliant. So I think they're doing well, but I don't know if this is a decent or good net practice sort of match, because they have to play against New Zealand, South Africa, Australia, England, and those teams are really good to go. So I don't know
Yeah.
if they should be really confident after this win.
Yes, थोड़ा सा शायद इंट्रोस्पेक्शन की जरूरत है। एंड बिफोर वी कम टू दैट, जो पहले मेरे ख्याल से कोई तेजा वो भी था कि रन आउट जो हुआ पाकिस्तान का, ओपनिंग बैटर का, ऑलमोस्ट लाइक कैजुअली स्टैंडिंग आउटसाइड द क्रीज। आई थिंक समथिंग सिमिलर हैपेंड इन द Asia Cup, and I saw the Pakistan captain protesting. at the boundary line. She was not playing at the pitch, but she was there. Any thoughts on that, Hetvi? You think it was a sort of, dead ball, not dead ball, throwing it? There was an appeal for an LBW which was under consideration, and I don't know. I mean, it's sort of a gray area, right?
Yeah. So that, I mean, I had a question for you today as well. Ki wo run out, when does it happen? Does the bat have to cross the line or does it have to touch the ground? I mean, wo dono hua. I think it crossed the line, but it wasn't touching the ground.
No, no,
And that's
it has to
why,
touch the ground. Crossing the line is not. I don't think the technical question of whether she was out or not, whether she was outside the line, inside the line was answered. The question was the appeal, because when you are bowling and there's a LBW and you appeal for the LBW, which is still under consideration, and is there between that and then the batsman standing outside and you throw the ball, uh, and you or bowler is appealed,
right,
at that point of time, does the ball become a dead ball because you're waiting for the umpire to answer that appeal,
decide.
and you may probably also go in for a DRS if you're not happy. So that I think that there's some confusion there in the minds of captains, players, spectators, that and is it in the right spirit? Because when even you think of the player at that end when she sees that, oh, there's an appeal against me, so let me wait. I mean, am I out? Am I not out? And then so she doesn't really bother about grounding her bat in the crease, right? Because she's waiting for that response to that appeal. So I think that is where the little sportsman spirit वगैरह आ जाता है इस बीच में. But of course, in this type of matches, sportsman spirit is not in the players list in the top 15. So you don't look at that. But otherwise, I think it was definitely a good match to have won yesterday. A little question on Smriti Mandhana's batting. Hitvi, are you with us? Your image is frozen. But in the meantime, I'll ask Priya. Priya, Smriti's batting in the beginning, sort of, you know, I got a sense that she was very tentative. Too
Hmm.
many dot balls. You play 5 dots and then you take a run of the sixth, and then the next over also you play 5 dot balls.
Hmm.
And you had Rahul. I forget the first name. The
Patrika,
opening
Patrika Rawal.
batter, Patrika Rawal, who was batting well. And she was in a full tempo because she made 12 runs of the second over. She hit 3 consecutive boundaries.
Hmm.
So I found Smriti Mandhana's not being able to rotate the strike. See,
Hmm.
you may not be able to hit the ball. One understands that. Okay, so it's a difficult pitch. Bowlers were good. Pakistani bowlers were good, no doubt about that. And
Yeah.
it was not easy to take them for a lot of runs. But you could have placed the ball. To take a single, what you need to do is to play with soft hands, so the ball goes slowly to the fielder, and you need to place the ball in between two fielders, so you can take one run. And I
Hmm.
think that not able to do that from a senior player like Smriti Mandhana, who's supposed to be the highest run getter not only for India but also in the ODI World Cup teams that are there. It's somehow I'm not sure. What did you think? You think it's tentative, getting out of form, nervous? What? Well, Priya,
Um,
what was your
but
reaction?
I think they were trying, she was trying to play it safe. And also I think there was a bit of nervousness because we're playing against Pakistan, pressure भी बहुत होता है players के
Mm,
ऊपर. इसके
mm,
अलावा sir, one thing we have to see that the pitch, because it was very hot.
mm.
It was hot, it was humid, so it was also getting difficult for players. So probably she was just trying to settle herself in and playing it safe, because after that, I think she did give some nice shots before she
Yes.
got out.
Yes, she did hit a few good cover drives. I agree.
Yeah.
Hetvi, your thoughts on how Smriti played yesterday?
I think I mean, I'm not sure. It was probably pitch was slow because we saw in previous match they rotated the strike quite well, and that's why we were where we were. So I don't think it was because of lack of experience या फिर वो old हो रहे या फिर anything of that sort, anything technically wrong with her. But I think it was because of the pitch, because in the previous match we did see कि rotation of strike था.
I sometimes think that when you play a weak team, you know that this is one of the weakest teams in the league. Forget that it's Pakistan. Can be you're playing either the number 7 or number 18. and you know that your big fight is going to come later with the top four. You don't play Pakistan to win against Pakistan, and don't worry about that competition. I give an example to a lot of people that हम जब फाइनल एग्जाम के पहले प्रीलिम्स देते हैं, तो हम प्रीलिम्स पास करने के लिए प्रीलिम्स नहीं देते हैं, हमको इसलिए प्रीलिम्स देते हैं कि हमको फाइनल में पास होना है। तो
हम्म
आप प्रीलिम्स को इस तरह एड्रेस करते हैं जैसे कि फाइनल करोगे। So when you in cricket, when you play against Pakistan, you're not playing against Pakistan. You have to think of Australia, you think of England. That
हम्म
if they were there, what would you do? Yesterday, you were able to get away with that inability to rotate the strike. If the same thing happens against Australia, if the same thing happens against England, you are done for, because they are sharp not only on the field, and Pakistan was very good on the field yesterday. So I don't think there's much difference between their fielding and the fielding of the top four. They fielded very well yesterday, and I think that the inability of the batters to keep on rotating the strike against the bowling like Pakistan, where they were good, but they are not the best in the tournament. They were very good yesterday. They excelled themselves. But I think that is what is bothering me, because if you do not do that now with
हम्म
Pakistan and Bangladesh and the weaker team, you already did with Sri Lanka, then you will not be able to do it with the superior teams, and then you will not qualify, because then the top four are already sort of, England and South Africa and New Zealand and Australia. And Australia is a juggernaut. England is doing very well. Today, South Africa is sort of taking New Zealand almost apart. Match is going on. So I think India needs to step up there, and not, and not go into its shell and say, I want to win this match. Not there to win this match. You're there to win the tournament. So I think
हम्म
that is where my basic worry lies, that कल जो हुआ अगर फिर से होगा तो फिर तकलीफ है। तो हमें हमें ये जो इंट्रोस्पेक्शन करना, कल आई डोंट नो वेदर यू वॉच द पोस्ट मैच comments of Anjum Chopra, who's one of ex-cricketers, women cricketers, and she had a lot of, I would not say negative things, but she had a lot of constructive criticism to give about our performance yesterday. So, though we won, we definitely won, and resoundingly we won 88. It was not the batting performance was not as good as you would have imagined. It could have been with the Smriti Mandana and people like Harmanpreet, and in the middle order you had Jemima. They did not play to the potential. Richa Ghosh came at the end, and of course did what she did, and that took us to 247, which looked unlikely at one stage. So I think that was good. So I think that's something that we need to worry about. On the bowling side, Priya, what do you think? Renuka coming in made a difference, or do you think the other bowlers were by themselves very good, including of course Sri Charni and Sneha Rana and Dipti and all the other. They played some wonderful cricket yesterday,
yeah, I
and
think
of course
uh,
Krishna Gaud,
yeah.
Karthik Gaud,
Kranti.
When it
Karthik Gaud.
comes to bowling, I think fielding rather, I think that both the teams played well. अगर इंडिया ने अच्छा बॉलिंग किया तो पाकिस्तान ने भी बॉलिंग अच्छा किया था, उन्होंने भी विकेट्स काफी ले लिए थे इनिशियली, एंड वी वर अंडर प्रेशर, हमें ऐसा लग रहा था कि वुड वी रीच 200 और नो। तो आई थिंक कि बॉलिंग सबका अच्छा था और स्ट्रैटेजी भी अच्छी थी बाय इंडिया एंड पाकिस्तान बोथ।
Any particular bowler? Or what do
Yeah.
you think about Kranti Gaud? Who's Kranti Gaud? Am I getting his name right?
Yes, Kranti God,
Uh,
yeah. Yeah, she was
Kranti
Kranti
Gaud,
announced the player of the
who's
match, so she
yeah,
definitely played well. और कुछ
and
विकेट्स
I
ले
think
लिए।
her and Dipti, they took 3 wickets that put real pressure on Pakistan. I was a little confused if it was Pakistan batters that were bad, or it was really good bowling from India spinners. Dipti
Correct.
Sharma, Kranti Ghosh, Sneha Rana, they really kept things tight for Pakistan today. And they never looked settled. It never looked like Pakistan could reach 248, except for their one, Sidra Amin that played.
I mean, she did play very well, and I think she did at one point of time appeared that she might be able, if she had support at the other end, and
Hmm.
if one batter had stood
Yeah.
there, she seemed to have the ability that yesterday to hit the fours and the sixes at the right time when required. reminds
She
you of
was
Virat Kohli, right?
she was Pakistan's
Yeah,
last hope yesterday, and I think she made around 80 and 81 out of 106 balls.
yes, she did make 81. You're right, and I think a good performance from her. But I think the special word for I think Richa Ghosh, especially because when it's something like Yashasvi Jaiswal, you bat well and then you go out there and drop catches like like nobody's business. I don't know whether you know the score yesterday of Richa Ghosh and dropped catches. She did drop 4 catches yesterday,
Hmm.
and I think I think dropping 4 catches by a wicketkeeper is in one innings is I think some sort of a record, and I think I think you're still again
A big
frozen. I
no.
don't know whether there's something wrong with the connectivity. On the attitude, and how did you feel when you watched Pakistan yesterday,
Hmm.
and then special reference to their captain Fatima Sana. Any thoughts? Because let's forget about the rivalry for a minute,
Hmm.
and let's look at Pakistan as a playing nation. And
Hmm.
when you look at a young captain like Fatima Sana,
Hmm.
and I think she wears her heart on her sleeves, the expressions on her face, the way she was, excited every time a wicket went,
Hmm.
and the way she showed disappointment every time a boundary was hit. Any thoughts on that team and the way they seem to be coming together as a team? And aggressive cricket is good. Hostile cricket is not good.
Hmm.
What I saw the difference, my opinion is the difference that I saw yesterday. The Pakistan women's team played aggressively, and that aggression is good. It's positive. Unfortunately, the Pakistan men's cricket team plays with hostility. And that hostility is negative aggression. And it's like almost a personal battle you're fighting with the other person on the field. That did not come through yesterday in the India Pakistan. We say, okay, you are keeping your distance, but you are playing good cricket, and you're saying that I am playing good cricket, and because I am playing good cricket, I'm happy. I'm not happy. It doesn't matter what you do. So, Fatima Sana, from both of you, not only as cricketers, as ladies, when you see such a young girl out there marshalling her team, what thoughts come to you? Here first.
So when you talk about sportsmanship, it's all about attitude. If you're playing a game, you must have the right attitude. But I think when India and Pakistan play, for Pakistan, it's always like हमको इंडिया को हराना ही है कुछ भी करके, that is always their attitude. Even हम एशिया कप देखेंगे तो there were some issues, but I think from our side हमने ज्यादा खेल के बताया उनको. We did not have any tiff with them, but that's how Pakistan attitude is always against us.
And sometimes we also have that in our mind as spectators.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Fatima Sana particularly?
Uh, I'm sorry, but I was cut off during the question. But you're
So,
just
so
asking how what
yes,
yes.
I was asking because if you watched yesterday's match and you saw the captain of Pakistan, young kid, she's new as a captain, and I think she captained the T20. She wears a heart on the sleeve. You could see the changing emotions during the match. And she was marshalling her team. She was goading them. She was excited, jumping. A lot of energy in her. So when you see such, and forget about a rivalry, forget it is Pakistan. But when you see a team like that coming together, and you see a young leader, a young kid out there marshaling her resources, what thought, you thought, did you think, what thoughts come to you and no, both as a cricket lover and as a woman, as a gender that's not known to play this game?
I think that adds the kind of excitement that Virat Kohli added to the Indian cricket team. He would jump around. He would do he would be excited. He would be upset when the ball like you could not out or somebody missed the catch, and that's what creates fun. That's what I mean. That's interesting to see. That's the emotions connect with you, and that's how you connect with the viewers as well. कि हम like we are a part. हमारा जो feeling है वो वहाँ पे reflect हो रहा है. So it feels really nice to see such attitude. जो in Pakistan men's team का था वो थोड़ा it wasn't really gentlemanly, or
Yeah,
it wasn't.
yes, yeah,
Yeah, that
absolutely.
put aside that I think this is more Virat Kohli version of Pakistan, and it's nice to have that on the field. It keeps the game lively, and it's
Yeah,
interesting.
it makes it more watchable. You want to see it. And somewhere along the line, you start sympathizing with them, also saying, "Okay, guys, we are a better team than you. There's no shame in you losing to us because we really are superior." And that's a fact. So I'm not saying because I'm Indian, but I think in every department of the game. And on the subject of captaincy, Priya Harmanpreet
Hmm.
Kaur,
Yeah.
almost every ball she right with the bowler, talking, talking, talking. Your thoughts on her captaincy?
Well, I think, sir, we won two matches. So I think as a captain, she's doing something right because we won two matches. But we have tough matches coming up. I mean, Australia or South Africa, बहुत strong teams हैं. So we have to see how they play with these two teams because winning against Pakistan or against Sri Lanka was relatively easier, but it's going to be tough. आगे South Africa के साथ match उनका tough होने वाला है. So I think that's when we can say how she is as a captain.
Yes, I think so. She doesn't have to prove much. She's been there around for some time, but
Hmm.
she hasn't won any championship yet. So
Hmm.
I think
Correct.
that's where I think this is her one chance because we're playing almost at home most of the time, except some matches in Colombo, like the one with Pakistan.
Hmm.
Hit me on if you were to say, like, let's assume that Amanjot Kaur is now better and gets back and she's no longer ill. Would you bring her back, or what did you think of Renuka Singh Thakur's bowling yesterday? And the fact that she came in was largely because Amanjot was not well. And but she came in and like a veteran, she did a great job of that 10 overs that she had. Would you retain her and let Amanjot be on the bench, or do you think you would bring Amanjot back? Because as an all-rounder, obviously she scores over Renuka in that sense. But from a veteran perspective and a experience perspective, Renuka Singh Thakur is like a Mohammad Siraj or a very experienced campaigner. What would you do if you were Harmanpreet Kaur?
I think I mean, it would depend on the other team, the opponent, right? Because Amanjot Kaur, it was her 57 runs against Sri Lanka
Hmm.
push us through. क्योंकि आगे के किसी ने खेला नहीं था. It was the tailenders that played. So I think it will depend on what our competition is and if we need a all-rounder or if we need just a bowler like, uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, you're with us. Yeah.
forgot
So
the
if you
name,
need a
sorry.
like
Renuka
Renuka
Singh.
Singh Thakur. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So South Africa, what would you do? It's South Africa. What would you do?
I think I'm not sure, sir, because I haven't really seen a
So
South
from the
Africa match, or
so
I'm
I
not sure
would the
about the
way
team.
so let me ask you the question a different way. You think your batting yesterday showed needed more depth? Because if it needs more depth, then you remove Renuka and you have to bring in Amanjot. But if you think that the batting is enough depth, then Renuka stays. So what did you think of yesterday's batting? You thought it needed some more,
I think we have
supplemented?
enough. I think we do have enough depth. If we need bowlers, I think it's wise to have a strategic bowler in the team other than an all-rounder because we have depth. Uh, but again, I don't know. I want to see another match in Colombo where better team plays because वो
Yeah.
वाला wash out हो गया था श्रीलंका
Australia, Sri
ऑस्ट्रेलिया.
Lanka
तो
wala.
कोई
Ji,
कोई
ji.
अच्छी टीम खेले and then we'll know कि if it's the pitch problem or if it's the player
Yeah.
problem or how is it.
Absolutely right. And one thing that bothered me about yesterday's match, Priya, was the running between the wickets
Hmm.
by Indian, especially the Indian batters. I somehow got the sense that there were twos that were in there, but for the asking, but you took only one. And where there were ones for the asking, you didn't do anything. You just stopped, waited there. You think there's some scope for improvement there, or you thought it was the weather? I think we have talked about the weather a couple of times. Yet we raised it. You also raised it, saying that maybe that it's not maybe it's just whether they're stopping people from doing what they want to do. But do you think that because Pakistan didn't do that. They ran a
Hmm.
lot.
Hmm.
And, in spite of that, they lost. That's different. But the intent that they showed, uh, there was an intent. Do you think
Hmm.
intent was missing for
I
India?
think intent was missing, definitely, and there is definitely scope of improvement. I haven't been following the Indian women's team लाइक आई हैवंट सीन टू मेनी मैचेस,
बढ़िया।
लेकिन कल का मैच देख के मुझे ऐसे लगा कि इम्प्रूवमेंट का स्कोप है। अभी वो कितना इम्प्रूव करते हैं दैट वील नो इन द नेक्स्ट मैच, बिकॉज दीज वर लाइक स्मॉलर टीम्स, नाउ दे हैव टू फेस द टफर वंस, आई थिंक दीज वर इजियर। सो डेफिनेटली स्कोप है, पर देखना ये है कि वो कैसे करते हैं, कैसे ये मैनेज करते हैं। आई थिंक दैट एवरी बॉल शुड बी प्लेड, एंड आई थिंक yesterday not all balls were played. I think every ball should be played.
Yes, and I think that's a good way to look at it.
Mm.
That you must at least try and take a single of every ball. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter whether you hit the boundaries or not. This and a 50 over ODI is not a T20. In a T20, you
Mm.
might think a single is not enough. You
Mm.
want to hit more, right? You want to get your
Mm.
fours and your sixes. This is the 50 over ODI. You have time for course correction. So
Mm.
you have time for the Richa Ghosh to come later and do what she did yesterday. There's always that, pinch hitter coming in the last 6, 7 overs who can come in and hit 50, 60 runs and make up for that. But you need to make that single. I think what happened yesterday to, again, I forget the first name, Raval, the opener. I think so much pressure came on her because of Smriti not scoring. That and those five dot balls, and she's at the non-striker end, just watching her, so that when she comes into bat and it's her turn to play, she wants to hit. She said, "What's happening to score? I must score," and that's how she got out because of the extra pressure that got built up on her. And I think that not scoring doesn't just affect the score or your score; it affects your partner. When the pressure goes on the partner, so I think that is something that and a seasoned campaigner like Smriti must understand. I'm sure she understands. I'm just surprised that she did what she did yesterday. It came as a big surprise to me because she's a very smart, thinking cricketer. Hitri, any thoughts on about the fielding? Did we didn't do that badly, but we did drop a few catches. Richa Ghosh was quite inefficient behind the stumps, if I might say.
Floppy.
She dropping quite a few chances. Any thoughts on the fielding?
I think yes, we need to really introspect after this match because, like Priya said, ki Pakistan is not that competitive team. But in future, we'll play against Australia, South Africa, and we cannot afford to play such lousy fielding. We have to take those catches. We have to stop the ball from going to the boundary. We have to do proper fielding, and we saw that with Indian men's team as well. कि फील्डिंग अगर अच्छा नहीं है तो there's a higher chance of you losing, or at least वो मैच एंड तक जाता है which you can easily win. So I think fielding is important, and being very on the field, being like intent was missing yesterday, like you said. Definitely it was missing.
Yeah, they were not able to convert half chances into actual catches. Richa, of course, did a bad job behind the wickets. Priya, your thoughts? And compared to Pakistan, I think they took some difficult chances. They stopped. They were sliding and jumping and saving the fours, and a lot of fours were stopped, and we had to take twos in a difficult condition. When you compare the two, you somehow thought that Pakistan was like very aggressive and on the field, and India was sort of
Yes.
laid back.
Hmm. Yes, sir. India was. I don't know, but I used to see that even in the men's cricket sometimes. कि we are little laid back. अगर हम लोग एक दो गेम जीतते हैं तो ऐसा we take it easy, It's like yeah, चलेगा ऐसा जीत जाएंगे. Because I think ideally, if you see the Pakistan team, हम लोगों को at least 300 बनाना चाहिए था कल, but we did not reach that, and we lost wickets too soon. We dropped also too many catches. Otherwise, Pakistan wouldn't have made even 110 or 20. So I think we need to improve a lot, and especially with the upcoming matches because they are against very stronger teams.
Yeah, and one last question on this very funny thing that I saw, the insect problem with things buzzing around your head and getting into your eyes and your nose and your ears, and you're constantly doing this. You think ICC should have some rule that because I genuinely believe that you can't play under such conditions, right? I mean, how do you concentrate? How do you focus? If you're a batsman and you're staring and wanting to see how the bowler is releasing the ball, and suddenly an insect comes in front of your eyes. I mean, I don't know. And as a bowler, when you're just going to release the ball, the insect bothers you. It's very difficult. Shouldn't there be some law saying that, yaar, chodo ye mat khelo, or just let nature be what it is? Priya?
Yeah, I think, sir, before we choose stadiums or we choose cities, I think this is something that should be considered because, every country, it's like this time of the year is not good to play or the weather's not good and the pitch won't be good. So I think the selection should be done accordingly because this does affect the performance in a very big way.
Yes, Hetvi?
I think grooming of ground is important. Just as you groom the pitch, you work around it. I'm sure there's a way out. I mean, you can spray it before, or I'm not sure how it works, but there is a way out. क्योंकि हम घर में नहीं आने के लिए भी हम बहुत कुछ करते हैं. So I think they should prepare something.
A very
अगरबत्ती
funny
लगा दो,
incident.
पर कुछ तो करो.
Yeah, but very funny incident. I don't know whether you saw yesterday. The coach or the support
Yeah,
staff of Pakistan sent the spray
you
to the
spray
players to spray on themselves and
in their
started
heads.
spraying it. They refused to spray it on themselves. And I guess where they come from because I have three Deviyas at home, my one wife and two daughters, and you give them something to apply on their skin. They say नहीं 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 क्या है पहले बताओ किसका नाम है हमारी चमड़ी पे कुछ नहीं लगाना चाहिए both of you ladies identify with that you're not going to be putting anything on your face anyway anytime soon
Yeah.
without knowing what the hell that is. Well, that was very funny, man. Very funny. The commentary also commented was saying, "Arey, kya kar rahe hai? Why is it putting on in the air instead of on their face or the skin or whatever?" So I think
There has to be some
strange things
criteria to
happen.
choose a ground or to choose a stadium or city or whatever. There have to be criteria. Yes.
Yeah, and there's, sometimes good teams might lose matches which they should not be
Yes.
losing. So I think that was my limited point on that. But good, I think it was a good match to win. Good to be on top of the table because Australia has shared that 1 point with Sri Lanka. So they stand to lose there a bit. Our run rate is still a concern because I think we're still
Yes.
behind the run rate with
Mhm.
three other teams. So we might drop down the table if those teams win. So I
Mhm.
think we need to focus a bit on the run rate as we go
Mhm.
ahead. But being on top of the table right now is a good feeling. And I think let's hope we stay there. And let's hope we at least stay on the top four because I'm sure once we qualify, we will at least go to the finals. We'll beat whoever is against us in the semis. We are playing in India, right? So there are what 33,000 gods looking after us, gods and goddesses, and so and for the 140 crore people praying at the same time. So I think that's gonna help, and let's keep our fingers crossed for the next match. Thank you guys. Any last comment from each of you, and then I wind up.
So I'm waiting for the next
Priya
match
first.
because that's where we'll know where India stands. So far, I think they've played well, but let's see how the next one is.
Yeah, looking forward to the South Africa match against India, I think on the 9th. But again, I think I want to say something about Pakistan cricket team, women's cricket team, because the kind of culture they come from and the kind of cricket they are playing, I think it's commendable that they are doing so
Yeah.
well as they are doing. Because
Absolutely.
they have a lot of restrictions, there are a lot of taboos, the culture is very orthodox over there, and still
Mhm.
they have come out of it and they're doing well. So I think that's something to appreciate, definitely.
And I think that's very well said because, especially because yesterday's performance, I think, was for me a revelation of a team that is not looked upon as a very good team. I think they bowled well, they fielded well, they did not bat well. Our bowling was, you asked the question, was our bowling good or was their batting bad? I think combination of both. Our bowling was not bad at all. We did bowl well, and Kranti God excelled herself. In spite of being new to the team and almost a young kid out there playing her first World Cup. So I think it was good bowling, yes, but again, I think a lot of pressure on the Pakistani batters because they know the whole world is looking at them, and they also rebuilding the team. They have people like Sidra Amin and a couple of old timers, but Fatima Sana herself is a kid and she has a few young talent with her that she's grooming, and I think so all in all, good show by them, and I think a lot of I think we should commend them on this program at least that irrespective of which country you are from, you did a good job. Keep at it. It's good for cricket. It's good for women's cricket because when you have I say close, almost the margin was 88, but it did not look like that at a
Mhm.
certain point of time. It wasn't one-sided. So play like this. and this game will really bloom, really flourish. There'll be people watching, coming to see the game, and that's what we want as cricket lovers, as people passionate about this game. This is what we want. We want this type of good, positive, aggressive cricket. On that note, let's end. I think we look forward to India, South Africa. The games begin now. And
Yes.
that's now
Yeah.
India has to perform. And I'm sure they will. I'm sure Harmanpreet and Smriti are seasoned campaigners, one captain, one vice captain, and they have a fantastic team, fantastic support staff out there. And let's hope they will work their magic wherever they are. Hetvi, Priya, thank you for being there, and thank
Thank
you
you.
for fantastic analysis. Let's keep at it, and let's come back on Cricket TV very soon. And viewers, as Priya always tells you when she's anchoring, like and share
Subscribe.
Cricket
And
TV,
subscribe.
and subscribe, and keep on watching us and spread the good word. Watch Cricket TV. Thank you, guys. See you.
Thank you.
आओ देखें क्रिकेट टीवी